Hey everyone, welcome to this week's installment of Hidden Hauntings. This week we're coming to you from Vinton, Iowa. We're in the Evergreen Cemetery. And I'm actually just gonna get behind the camera real quick and give you a little peek as to what we're dealing with here. This is probably the biggest cemetery investigation so far for Hidden Hauntings as far as like size goes. Absolutely massive cemetery, and kind of some of the stories to go with this place. People say they see military men running around, a lady on horseback. What I'm kind of curious about, though, is a phenomenon that occurs in the cemetery pertaining to one particular statue. So let's go check them out. Actually, I'm not even gonna cut frame. We're just gonna go for a little walk because this is an enormous feat for one guy because I'm here all alone. Alright, and the phenomena that I've heard a lot about in this particular cemetery, just talking to people, some general research on the internet, is this handsome fella right here. Now, the statue behind me's kind of got a cool story to it. I've heard one of a couple things occurs with the statue behind me. And if you look back, way back before any actual filming for Hidden Hauntings occurred, when I announced that Hidden Hauntings was going to be a thing, I did it in this very cemetery. This was kind of cool, a little blast from the past. And I said that not a lot of people know the story of this guy. And what I've heard from people is one of two things occurs with the statue. It was one, if you look at him, he is obviously facing forward. One of the things I've heard that I'm gonna kind of investigate into this evening is when people are in here at night, they say they see his head following them. So I'm gonna check that out. And number two would be some people have claimed that during the day he has both eyes, and I will show you that very clearly, that he has both of his eyes. What people claim, though, is also coming in here at night that new tripod I've been playing with. Sorry. But what people claim is that to go look at him at night, one of his eyes is missing. Now the posted closing time for this cemetery is 6 p.m. and it is currently about 5:15, so I don't have a whole lot of time. So let's get to it. Welcome to the Evergreen Cemetery, Vinton, Iowa. All right, and we are back on the handy cam. Adjusting the tripod here. The night vision camera. Can't be shooting HD in the dark, but I'm going to start off, do a general investigation to see if I can't contact some of the spirits, because people say military men have been seen walking around here. A lady on horseback. A couple of them are probably more urban myth and legend. And like I said, sorry, I'm going to be doing a little adjusting this episode. New tripod. Actually lets me shoot a bit further away from myself. I'm kind of excited about it. So we'll find a decent spot to start. Start off with some audio stuff, and just kind of proceed from there as to, what I'm gonna do next. I can't stress enough. Like, this isn't even half. This isn't even half of the cemetery that I'm in. It's just kind of the older part, which I'm more fond of. The spot to park my car closer to the back. We got a big plot over this way that we'll check out. Be a good spot for some audio work. Maybe break out the SP7 Spirit Box. Let's run a little audio to start off with. EVP, Evergreen Cemetery, Session 1. And I know it's a little anticlimactic because the night vision's not on, everything's not all green, but as you can see, it would make a lot of difference anyways. I'm doing it this early on here just because the posted hours are a fairly early closing time, but ghosts, they're always around. Nighttime's just a more preferred time to go about doing it for paranormal investigators. Less outside interference. Things like the night vision camera are a little more ideal at night. But we make do. Is there anybody around here right now? My name's Chris. I've got a little red light right here. It can hear you. Is there anything you want to say? I'm not here to hurt or harm you. I just want to try to communicate with you. Do a lot of people try to do that? And it is cold despite the surprising greenness of the grass in the area around. It's still February here in Iowa, and it's cold. There's geese. Are you a soldier? People say they see a lot of soldiers around here. What war did you fight in? Did you give your life in battle, or were you able to come home? That's a dog barking. How old were you when you died? Or maybe the lady on horseback that people say they see around here. Can you tell me what your name is? Can you ride up to me so I can hear your horse's hoofbeats? Or can you say something to me? tell you what, we'll try something else. Alright, so what I got here is the SB7 spirit box. It's a little out of date. I think they're like the SB11 now. It's crazy. But what this device does is it is a easier way for spirits to verbally communicate. It sweeps through radio stations at upwards of 4 stations per second, so it's really quick. It just kind of creates this white noise that spirits can speak through. Makes them easier to communicate. If you haven't seen us use this before, or if you know, this is your first time tuning in, that's what we got here. So here we go. My name's Christopher. Can you tell me what your name is? Did you just say hello to me? I believe I heard a female voice come through that said hello. Hello, my name's Chris. What's your name? Can you repeat that? Has anybody ever tried to communicate with you like this? And feedback's not terribly uncommon with this device. Just random little blips of sound that aren't really audible voices. It's just a radio station that happens to come in clearer, so it spits out a noise. I don't have a whole lot longer, so I probably won't be running this device for much longer. And I think that's the same voice that said hello before. Can you repeat that? What are you trying to tell me? Alright, so the SB7 Spirit Box is spitting out some stuff for me. So what I'm going to do is, while this is running, the recorder will be picking up everything it's saying. But in the meantime, just to utilize my time a little bit better, I'm going to go around and I'm going to just snap a bunch of pictures. So first I'm going to start off just normal digital still camera. Camera just like probably the ones you guys have at home. Nothing special about it. But a lot of success with it. So. Yeah, so nothing paranormal, but it's always kind of cool running into these sort of things. Just a small herd of deer coming by. I thought it was kind of cool. So I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You'll never see it, whatever. I'm going to shoot a video of me off my phone because I'm straying away from the camera, which is up over that hill. I want to get like a big shot of the cemetery because people say they see soldiers marching around. It'd be very inconvenient if they would be marching around and there wasn't a camera on the actual cemetery, but on my face, which is there's our famous soldier. I find a little sad. The camera I'm shooting in right now, which is off of my just my phone, I believe the camera quality is actually better than our video camera running on up there, which is a little out of date, but it still works. It's night vision, so it's a necessity. You don't have to be afraid of me. I think you talked to me up there. It's okay to get in one of my pictures. It won't hurt you. And that's the train tracks that the lady is said to walk along. So a few more of the digital still, and I will switch to full spectrum. It is seriously so cool here. One of the neater cemeteries I've been to over the years. And switch arms because this one's getting tired. And it's almost the law in paranormal investigating. You take a picture once, you take a picture twice. Shadows, that sort of thing. Can be one-time deals, but I think people even thinking you got something when you really didn't. So always take not one, but 2 pictures. Write that down. I don't really have a whole lot for camera, so I'm also filming off my phone here. What happens when you put a camera to a camera? I'm gonna switch to the full spectrum camera. And those of you who like the SB7 Spirit Box who might not particularly know what a full spectrum camera is, a full spectrum camera does almost exactly like it sounds. It sees in the full spectrums, which doesn't say a lot, so let me put it to you this way. What you're seeing right now is visible light. It's light that our eyes can perceive. But if you go on opposite ends of the spectrums, you have your infrared, which this little guy is able to emit and pick up through its lens. So infrared IR camera. The full spectrum not only goes back to infrared, but goes past our visible light into ultraviolet. That's the UV light. That's like what the sun lets down. And actually, if you haven't, I keep sounding like they're saying stuff, so I'm really hoping we're getting cool things here. What the heck? Technical difficulties. I'm hoping I can show you what. I'm going to try to do a little battery swap real quick. I've been listening to the SB7. And I'll continue to explain what this little guy does. Okay, so I'm not sure if any particular audio device caught that. It might be nothing because we're so far away. I mean, not so far away, but because we're so close to being in town. I'm sitting here, I'm changing the batteries in this guy, which, by the way, still is not working. I'm not sure why. But when I was switching out the batteries, I heard these little pops that, at least to my ear, kind of sounded like a gunfire from a distance, which isn't like necessarily a huge deal. Like I said, very well could just be someone out, because we're like somewhere in between country and town. It's kind of hard to describe. But the reason that might be relevant is because of the military men that they say they see here. So maybe hearing them discharging firearms is just kind of cool. And through the power of movie magic, give me just a second. I'm going to try to tinker with this guy. So we're gone and back again. I did like 3 battery switches. Something's going wrong with the full spectrum camera. It'll act like it wants to turn on. I don't know if it'll do it for you here, but that's like how the screen's supposed to be looking, and for some reason, nothing. It's just lifeless. So, if you want to know more about the full spectrum camera, go back, watch the Monster Glen episode. It's got the full explanation. It's a great episode. Just go back and watch that. So from this point, we are looking at about 5:50. 10 minutes left to investigate. So. Kill the SB7 spirit box. And if anybody talked through this device, I want to say thank you. That's a big help, and I hope that I can hear you later. And maybe I will. I will come back someday. If you talk to me, I want to keep trying to communicate with you. All right, so with the last few minutes of open cemetery that we have here, what we're going to do is we're going to, as always, continuously run our audio. Come on, little buddy. There we go. We're going to continuously run our audio. That's just how we do it at AOP. A lot of people do what are called burst sessions, and that's just basically running the recorder for like 5-10 minutes at a time. EVP sessions. Yeah, it makes for easier listening, and it's not to say it doesn't work, because we've had success with burst EVP sessions, but we find it's equally as useful. A bit more work, but it's a labor of love, to just run continuous throughout the duration of the investigation. So, I'm going to take a lap, ask questions throughout the park, and there we go. Ask questions throughout the park. Jeez, why do I keep saying park? Ask questions throughout the cemetery, until we come back to. I can't navigate this thing over my shoulder like that. Nope. Yes, till we come back to that guy and see if he is either missing an eye or if he is watching me. Did you talk into my little black box here? The one with the blinking red light? Or did you enjoy it more when I had that device running? That noise maker that was easy for you to talk through? I believe you said something to me through it. Can you say something to me through this? Or even better yet, come up to me. Weird timing. Bird just took off from a tree. Still spooked me. Come up to me on one of these roads. Talk to me. Can you show yourself? I won't hurt or harm you. Probably couldn't even if I wanted to, but I don't. All I want is to talk. Maybe see you, hear your story. So you can see at least a little bit of a higher action in this episode. That was my phone going off. Ending EVP session. And we'll keep taking a little stroll here until right about closing time. Sun is, doesn't look like it, but the sun is really close to down. And I'm curious to see what that statue does. Alright, we're at about 31 minutes. Let's make our way back to our statuesque friend. Alright, so I'm taking kind of an odd approach to this. I'm gonna try to flank him. I'm gonna be approaching from the side to see if he actually looks at me. So video camera angle might be rubbish, but I'm gonna try to keep it on his head as best I can here. Alright. And in just a bit. And it zoomed really far in there. I'm a bit ways away from him. Alright, we'll take a few more paces. And take a few more paces and zoom in on his face again to see if he's looking at us. And how creepy would it be if we just like saw his head turn? And from this angle, can't. And from this angle, we got nothing. I'm trying to keep the camera and my eyes on him, but it's not very easy. All right, well. No dice. Not necessarily saying that it never happens. I can't discredit all these people who've told me this, but that's the end of the episode at 6 o'clock. I gotta go. Maybe come back at a later date, later night, see if it happens again. That'd be kind of a fun revisit episode. As always, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me what I can do to make this episode better. Tell me what I can do to make future episodes better. Until then, stay tuned.